Chapter 1. Knowing that it was a particularly good place for coming up with ideas, Daisy May sat in the same spot on her usual table in the school's canteen, alone, as she did every break time. To those watching on, it may have seemed as if Daisy May was looking out the window across the school's sports fields, gazing at others enjoying those much-needed moments of free time that break up the school day. But Daisy May wasn't paying any attention to whatever was going on outside. She was deep in thought as she tried to come up with a new storyline for the latest episode of Daisy May's Daydream Parade. Her favourite notebook was laid out in front of her, open wide, with a page ready to be filled with her thoughts. The only words on it so far? Chapter 0. She picked up her pencil and started to scribble away. Something about soccer-playing unicorns. Daisy May let out an audible sigh. She'd written about unicorns before. A lot. In fact, the whole of the second series of her show was almost entirely dedicated to unicorn-related episodes. Unicorn pirates at sea, unicorns on Mars, horses wishing they were unicorns and then becoming unicorns and flying to Brazil to explore the Amazon rainforest. Unicorns, unicorns, unicorns. Daisy May tried to think of another idea, but she couldn't. Annoyed with herself, she threw her pencil down and slammed her notebook shut. Oddly enough, though, that's when the inspiration finally found her. On the front of her notebook was a picture of a rocket whirring its way into outer space, with the moon and stars lying in wait, ready to stun the astronauts on board with their beauty. She couldn't contain an excited gasp. The Oat Milk Enterprise! Daisy May opened her notebook again and frantically flicked through the pages. She knew exactly what she was looking for. Finding the designs for one of her most spectacular creations, the spacecraft she adored, Daisy May chuckled and beamed as she studied them in great detail and remembered the day it was built. Years before, Daisy May and her dad, who she calls Bob Dad, made a toy rocket out of an empty oat milk carton and cardboard they'd cut out of an old cereal box. They're good for the wings. A lick of paint later, and a lot of thinking about the name, the Oat Milk Enterprise, and who knew? It was the greatest toy rocket ever to have been invented. It deserved to fly again. To the moon! Daisy May leapt to her feet and announced, somewhat theatrically. She then remembered where she was. In the middle of the school canteen. Everyone was looking at her now. She blushed and sat back down on the table once again. One of her fellow class members, Krishna, gave her a smile and waved. Daisy May smiled back. Maybe I should go and sit with them. It would be nice to make some friends, she thought. But then she felt a sudden bout of shyness, so hid behind her open notebook, grabbed her pencil, and decided it was time to get down to business. Somebody has to get this show on the road, thought Daisy May, as her mind wandered off to the place she loved the most. The stage is set. Members of the audience sit silently in anticipation of the star of the show's arrival. Whoosh! A spotlight appears and shines upon Daisy May, who... Hang on, is she... She's dressed as an astronaut, in a big white spacesuit, holding a helmet under her arm. Hundreds, thousands, millions maybe, break into rapturous applause at the sight of their hero. Daisy May beams a smile and gives them one very cool wink. She is one smooth operator. She puts her hand in the air and clicks her fingers. Suddenly, a microphone appears in her hand. Are you ready? Daisy May calls out to her adoring audience. Even her school teachers are cheering for her. The response of joyous cheers is the only invitation she needs. Here comes the theme tune. Daisy May's Daydream Parade, imagination's the adventure. So come and play. Just use your mind, it's free to ride. My daydream stories, let's give it a try. The The crowd begins to chant, "Daisy May! Daisy May! Daisy May!" And Daisy May breaks into the robot dance. More cheers! Can this girl do any wrong? Silence. Daisy May looks to the audience. "Can you hear that?" she whispers. "It sounds like something crackling." The crowd let out a collective "Oh" as the sound of static gets louder. "Daisy May, can you hear me?" says a voice. Daisy May gasps with delight. "It's Aunt Netty!" The audience cheer. "Hey, Daisy Maisie," says Aunt Netty. That's the special name she has for Daisy May. "Your space rocket awaits." Out of the corner of her eye, Daisy May notices a movement. She turns around to see the stage curtain behind her lift up. Behind it lies the Oat Milk Enterprise. Engines roaring, lights flashing. Looks like it's had a splashing of glitter. "Oh!" gasps from the awestruck crowd. Daisy May can't help but stare at the Oat Milk Enterprise with pure wonder. I mean, she knew they did a good job when building that one, but a whoosh of air and a plume of smoke as the doors to Daisy May's rocket open. Out steps an astronaut, who initially walks towards Daisy May, but then starts to walk off in the opposite direction. "You're very tall," thinks Daisy May. Then, "Where are you going?" The astronaut turns around again and heads towards Daisy May, but then walks past her and towards the edge of the stage. She doesn't look like she's going to stop. "Wait!" Daisy May shouts towards the astronaut. "You're going to walk off the stage." "Oh!" says the astronaut, who stops in their tracks. The astronaut lifts the visor of their helmet, and all Daisy May can see is hair. A sea of long blonde dreadlocks spill out from the helmet. "I'd know those dreadlocks anywhere," Daisy May says, and starts to giggle. "Aunt Netty!" "Hey, Daisy Maisie," says Aunt Netty. "Oh, there you are," she adds as she finally gets her long dreadlocks out of the way of her eyes. Daisy May makes a noise, best described as a delighted squeal, and leaps into Aunt Nettie's open arms. "I've missed you," says Daisy May. "I've missed you too. Can I come on your daydream adventure, please, Daisy Maisie?" "Of course! Let's go!" Daisy May grabs Aunt Netty by the hand and they run together into the Oat Milk Enterprise. Prepare for liftoff!